I think the line should be drawn where killing is turning into a sport.
What about Thanksgiving then? Like, don't people kill the turkey for fun? Kind of. It's
Well,
not
they
exactly
kind
for
of
fun,
eat
but
the
it's.
turkeys afterwards.
So you think that if we did bullfighting, but then they ate the bull afterwards, it would be better?
Honoring, but they're killing the turkey and then honoring like other things.
Well, I mean, bullfighting is also a way to honor the bull. That's part of a lot of cultures. Eric, yeah.
Actually, when for the Holocaust, I think that in historical wars, the person that won is the person that is usually held as moral and other stuff.
That's true as well. They see that history is written by the winners. So that definitely is a counter argument against cultural objectivity. But I think that like for things like the Holocaust, in general, it's safe to say that in general it was wrong. Andrew, you had your hand up, or did you not have your hand
No.
up? Oh, okay. Let's see. Yes, so someone says the question that I was about to ask. So Sissy says killing the animals in public and in private is essentially the same. That was from like 3 minutes ago, so sorry, I'm falling behind in the chat. But could you explain your reasoning for that? Because I agree with you.
So I think that like killing animals in private is just like not not like letting the public eye see what's going on behind the scenes, and they might be even like less aware of what's happening. But like having bullfighting is basically like killing the animals in the same way as like, or like still killing animals as like killing it in private. I don't know if that makes sense, but
That doesn't make sense. Yeah.
like it's essentially like the same to like, but you could say like, you could argue that one could be like more cruel, or like it like the animals could feel more pain, but at the end like they're all killed.
Okay. Anyone disagree with that? Eric, I see your hand up. Were you going to talk about that or something else? Because I wanted to first see if anyone disagrees with
Oh, I
that.
forgot to put my hand down.
Oh, okay. So who disagrees with that? Who disagrees with the fact that whether or not it's in the public eye or not, whether or not you enjoy it or not, at the end of the day, the animal is being killed inhumanely, so there's no difference. Chris says agreed. Okay. I know that some people did disagree though. I forgot who it was, but Andrew?
Oh, I have no idea why my hand is raised.
Oh, that's fine. Okay. So Annie says there's animals like dinosaurs who turn from eating plants to being carnivores. It's easier for them. However, bullfighting doesn't make anything easier. Okay. Well, you could argue that there's a lot of things that we do that don't make anything easier. This might be controversial, but I'll just say it. I don't mean to offend anyone, but someone could legitimately make the argument that religion doesn't make anything easier either. Someone could make the argument that eating meat doesn't make anything easier, because in reality, these animals are eating more plants than the meat that they're producing, so they're actually damaging the planet and things like that. So, Annie, do you think that we should apply that argument that you made, which is definitely a valid argument, to these things as well? And if not, why? What's the difference? Anthony says religion gives some people something to grasp. But yeah, that's the thing. Bullfighting is also the reason why bullfighting is so important to their culture is because it's something that people grasp and something that people. It's like tradition. People don't want to let go of it. Let's see. Ariel says, my opinion is that bullfighting is bloodlust, whereas killing for food is out of hunger. it's not as bloody when you kill animals out of hunger. Well, I don't think that we're killing animals out of hunger. There's been studies that show that it's possible to have a vegetarian or vegan and healthy life. There's studies that show that in reality, raising an animal actually wastes more food and resources than just raising plants, because the animal, there's a lot of stuff related to the upbringing of an animal. So we're not really killing out of hunger either. We're kind of killing out of enjoyment. We're not enjoying the killing, but we're enjoying the eating, which is like, why is that morally different? Andrew, I see your hand raised. Let me just catch up with the chat first. Yeah, exactly. Sissy kind of said what I said as well. Sean says the way that, so Sean, I think Sean was replying to what I said. He says, the way they kill the bull is different than hunting and killing a bear. Pigs are for food, bull is for killing and for taunting. But what's the moral difference between having something for food and having something for killing and taunting? Like, we're not eating the food to survive, once again. We're eating it because they taste good.
Well, I guess when you're taunting them, you're putting some other consciousness in moral wrong or something.
Okay, I guess that makes sense. Andrew, what were you going to say?
I've heard there's this Eskimo saying, kill what you need to kill. So like just killing they justify that killing for food is a necessity, but like killing for fun is not. And I don't think we're overproducing any meats, so I think it's fine.
But once again, is it really a necessity in the modern age?
Well, then where else will you get protein?
Plants have protein as well. I mean, that's what a lot of people have found. I don't know if it's the general scientific consensus, but it's definitely a very established view. Sissy says, I think the issue with both bullfighting and eating meat is that it's not something that's necessary for us. It's something that we just feel we can't let go. Okay. That makes sense. Someone says, what about the Maslow's hierarchy of needs? Man, I learned about that like 2 years ago. I forgot what it was. Do you want to really quickly explain that again? Something to do with like survival or something, and then second level was
there are like 5 levels in the needs. It's like physiological needs at the bottom, and like the top of the level is like self-actualization. I think it's kind of somehow related to bullfighting. Like if you eat the meat and like kill a pig, for example, you're kind of like you're having a basic need of your life. But like I think in that culture we can really judge that, for example, in a culture that they might say this fighting is a what do you say, like self-actualization, but like in most people, not in most people, like more ethically speaking, it seems like not a good thing. But I would say this needs kind of a, I don't know.
That's a really interesting way of saying it. Yeah. Okay. Who disagrees with that? Because that's definitely a very. Honestly, I think I agree with you. You could definitely argue that self-actualization. I mean, you could definitely argue that bullfighting isn't just mere entertainment. Andrew, go ahead. Andrew, you have your hand raised. Is it? Okay.
Not reasoning.
Okay. Okay. Any last comments before we wrap up this discussion? Because I also wanted to talk about animal testing. Oh, there's still some chat comments. Let's see. Any Well, I think that people in the bullfighting culture could say that because something being a fine art is kind of something that's right to do. it's right to seek beauty. It's right to seek self-actualization. And so some people view it like that. Eric asks, what if the religion involves cannibalism? Huh? Oh, please stop spamming, dude. Thank you. And he says, but it is killing, and killing out of no necessity is not beauty. Well, that's the thing, right? I mean, you could argue that beauty is subjective. You could say that it's not beauty, but what about someone else, right? So I guess that's a hard argument to discuss. But anyway, I'm going to wrap this discussion up because I wanted to get to the third question, which is, should animal testing be allowed? I'll really quickly read this because we only have like a couple minutes left. So many research institutions make use of non-human animals as test subjects. Animals may be subject to experimentation or modified into conditions useful for gaining knowledge about human disease or for testing potential human treatments. Because animals share many physiological and genetic similarities with humans, animal experimentation can be tremendously helpful for furthering medical science. However, there is an ongoing debate about the ethics of animal experimentation. Some people argue that all animal experimentation should end because it is wrong to treat animals merely as tools for furthering knowledge. According to this point of view, an animal should have as much of a right as a human being to live out a full life, free of pain and suffering. Others argue that while it is wrong to unnecessarily abuse animals, animal testing must continue because of the enormous scientific resource that animal models provide. What are your thoughts on this and why? Sean says yes. Do you want to explain? And by the way, when I'm talking about animal testing, I'm talking about non-human animal testing for the purpose of helping animals, or for the purpose of, non-human animal testing for the purpose of helping humans, meaning that we're not testing on the animals to help other animals. So,
Well,
says,
I feel like
oh, go
this
ahead.
shouldn't be allowed because animals and humans' bodies are, in the first place, their bodies are structured differently. And sometimes you test a certain medicine on animals, but it doesn't have the same effect on humans. And secondly, is sometimes they abuse the animals, and sometimes it causes the animals to be in great pain, so it shouldn't be allowed. And instead, it should be used on humans because it's more accurate and probably would have provided the same result.
Well, what's cheaper in the end, humans or animals? Because if you test it on a human and it causes great pain or even death, then you're gonna have to pay a lot more for a human than you have to be for an animal.
So like I think it's more valid to test like vaccines and stuff on animals because they're pretty accurate and we're able to like control their DNA and breed them specifically so they don't have like any random defects that we don't know about. And testing on an animal, like one animal, is more humane than testing on a human because it like leads to more humans being helped. And yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. Who disagrees with that? Also, why are people still joining right now? Almost at the end. Okay, let's see. Let me read chat. Someone says only testing for emergencies. Someone else said animal testing has boosted us further than we could have gone by ourselves. So yeah, at what point is the trade-off worth it? Because for those of you who think that animal testing is unjust, I'd say that most people think that one human is more valuable than one animal. So if we were to animal test on some animals and save a lot more humans, then would that make it just? Error 404, go ahead.
So sometimes the testing can be actually accidentally beneficial to the animals, So does that make animal testing not bad?
It could. Do you think that changes something, like animal testing to help humans versus animal testing to help the animals themselves? Anthony?
It all depends on the impact of what happens to animals. Say Alexander Fleming testing penicillin on rats and hamsters. Either way, I don't think that was inhumane because the bacteria wouldn't I think that wouldn't exactly do much to them. But the Rabbit Island on Japan where they tested poison gas on rabbits.
Mhm.
I don't think that was humane because like it all depends on what if what you're doing is a failure, what will it do to the animal? Like if
Mm.
you're testing some like I don't know like if your thing fails and it kills the animal, then that's inhumane, or causes it great pain, then that's inhumane.
What about if you don't know whether or not, if you don't know the effect and that's why you're testing?
Well, that's like a Hail Mary pass. You don't know what what will happen.
Well, if you
And
can't
I think that uncertainty
animal,
is what makes
what do you supposed to test it on?
animal testing in general inhumane.
I see. Someone else had a response to that? You can go ahead. Who was that? I think it was Legacy Gotcha Boy YT.
Well, the thing is, if you don't test on an animal and you test on a human, if you cause great pain to a human, there are laws against that. But there aren't really any laws against great pain against humans, which is kind of why people test on animals, because the cost is so much less. But if you're not allowed to test on an animal and you're not allowed to test on a human, what are you supposed to test on that can actually give you a result?
Yeah, that's definitely one of the primary arguments supporting animal testing. So what do people who, Anthony, yeah? Oh, okay. Let's see. Annie said, it's not wrong to sacrifice the minority for the majority. If we sacrifice some animals, it could be for the majority of other species. We don't have the tech to test without animals. Consider the economy. Stuff like, okay, Annie. So that's definitely a very good argument. Well, you make several arguments actually. So you're thinking from like a purely utilitarian standpoint, which is definitely valid. But what about this? Because animal testing obviously has a lot of success, but it definitely has more failures than successes, and the large majority of animal testing just fails. So what if it's not sacrificing the minority for the majority, but what if it was instead sacrificing a lot of animals for some humans? Sean says they have another question.
I think
Sorry,
then
go ahead.
it's okay because if we had directly tested that on the humans first, that would have killed a bunch more humans rather than animals. So it's good to like figure out what works and what doesn't.
Okay. Who disagrees with that? Chris says, aren't there models? Well, the reason that we're doing animal testing is because there's no super accurate models. Maybe in the future, but right now we don't know about that. Annie says, we're saving more through experiments. That could be true in some cases, but that's definitely not true in most cases. In most cases, it's sacrificing a lot of animals, like maybe 10,000 lab rats in order to save like maybe 100 humans or something. Okay, any last thoughts on this? Sorry, we kind of had to compress the discussion because the last discussion was a bit long. Okay. Oh wait, someone has a last comment. They shouldn't test for cosmetics, but they should be able to for medicine. Okay, and I assume your reasoning is just because medicine's more important, whereas cosmetics is like not so important, right? Someone says receiving humans and humans can allow research to progress faster. So yeah, I see. Okay, so we're like 4 minutes over time, so I'll just wrap this up really quickly. Preview of next class. Next class, we're going to be actually moving away from ethics and applied ethics, which has been what we've been doing for the past 3 lessons, and moving towards political and economic philosophy. So if you're interested in that, definitely come. I think it'll be really interesting. I'll send the homework in the group chat shortly. Another thing. Currently, I'm in the process of thinking about forming like a team for spreading this program, for expanding it, for making it better, and things like that. So if you're interested in this, and if you're interested in joining my team, please WeChat DM me, I guess, or email me. I'll type my email in the chat again, but it's just my name at gmail.com. Let's see. And yeah, I'll follow up with more details in the WeChat group later. Or I think my mom actually posted that yesterday. So before we wrap this up, anyone have any last thoughts on anything we've discussed in this class, or just in general?
Oh, I have a general thought.
Uh-huh.
Like, some people already contacted your mom, I think.
Yeah, I know that. I was just asking if it, because there's still some new people, or not new people, but
Oh.
people who didn't see that maybe. Fido asks, how was your AP exam going? They went well. I think I did pretty well in all of them.
Wait, how many AP
Definitely
did you take? Or final,
I
by
took
the way.
6, so that was like a busy week. Okay,
Did you take
sorry.
philosophy?
There's no AP philosophy, unfortunately.
Yeah, true.
Have you taken AP psychology?
I have not, but I'm planning to take that senior year.
Oh, cool.
Which subject, someone says? I took BC Calculus, Physics Mechanics, Physics E&M, AP English, Statistics, and US History, which is definitely my favorite one. A-Push is really fun, so y'all should take it if you're in high school. Okay. What else was there? There's nothing else. Originally, I was going to do this. Remember from last class, we had 3 sample ethical dilemmas, but actually we only finished 2. So I guess we could do it, but we're 7 minutes over time, so you guys can leave if you want to. Eric asks, what's the homework? I'll send that in the group chat shortly. So yeah, once again, feel free to leave, but I'll stay on for like 5 more minutes. Who would be interested in doing this discussion? Henry asks, why do you think A-Push was fun? I think I'm just interested in history. It's really cool to learn about what's going on in US history, and really cool to learn about like the context behind a lot of what's going on in politics right now, and current events right now. So who wants to do this discussion? If a lot of people do, I guess I can do it. Sorry, I just realized I was muted, so I talked to myself for like a minute. But yeah, who has any thoughts on this question? The original purpose of this question was to ask, as the slide says, How can someone act morally when faced with an immoral situation? Because so far we've been talking a lot about situations in which everything is fair except for what you want to do. So the question is like, when you're faced with something that's unfair, can you do something unfair to remedy it? Or like, what do you do? Is it possible to act morally in these situations? Someone says kill your son because it's not technically, sorry, it's technically not killing your son, and he'd die anyway, so you should refuse. Wait, what? Oh wait,
Could
no,
you
sorry.
have
Yeah, go ahead.
could you have any other choice like plot to murder the guard or something?
Let's assume not, because that would defeat the point of the discussion. Oh wait, no, sorry, Isabel, I misread your comment. You said it would be hard to do, but kill your son because it's not technically killing your son, and he'd die anyways with another innocent life. I see. And Ariel has that same sentiment, I think. Oh wait, no, you don't. Oh, I see. That's an interesting point. Okay. Wait, Isabel, did I misinterpret your message? Your comment? Someone says they would kill themselves. Well, I mean, that would probably lead to 3 deaths instead of 2 or 1.
I think you did interpret my comment correctly. Like I meant pull the chair because your son will die anyways, and you're like assisting in the act, but it's really not because they put him into that situation.
Okay. I think that's actually the most common answer. So, does anyone disagree with that? Who thinks that it's just wrong to pull the chair? So you should just not do it regardless of what happens. Eric asks, why are you in the camp in the first place? Well, it's a hypothetical situation, so it's kind of just a thought experiment. We don't have to worry about those pesky little details. Someone says, Chris says, if you don't pull the chair and kill another inmate, all the prisoners would be mad at you. Okay, fair enough. Eric, I don't think that's appropriate, so please don't make that comment. Okay, that's fair. Why is someone trying to join the meeting right now? We're done. Okay, I guess that's about it then. Sorry we didn't get enough time to finish this meeting exactly, but once again, thanks for coming. I'm gonna end the meeting very soon. So does anyone have any last questions for me or comments or anything like that?
What's your WeChat?
What's my WeChat? I'm in the group. My WeChat is just my name, Justin Qiu. Are you in the WeChat group? Yeah, thanks all of you for coming. I really appreciate it. It was really fun. Okay, I'm gonna end the meeting then. Goodbye, have a great day or have a great evening, and hopefully see you next week.